Dwayne, where did the idea for the Nomadic Barber come from? How did you come to that?
It's interesting. In the last 10 years, I've been trying to figure out where's my path. What is my end goal for barbering? What's my end goal for legacy? And my first one was dream cuts, and because everything has to start from a dream. But at the same time, I was in between still working with the military and couldn't spend the time that I wanted with it. And once I moved here, I just realized that me traveling and understanding how travel works and what clients are looking for when they're traveling, that was my biggest cut from it. Because for me, nomadic barber means constantly moving, always on the go, but it also means to me that I'm always learning and always trying to figure out to be able to tell somebody else's story from their perspective, not just my own. What you're doing is still the same. Barbering is still the same. The only difference is it's in a different country. It's in a different state. Everybody does things differently. But just knowing how to navigate that. And that's what I feel that the nomadic barber can do by traveling, seeing new barbershops, seeing new things that like technology, clothing, all this stuff is all intertwined with barbering. People just look at barbering as we cut, but we are using technology. We're using cameras on social media. We're using technology as far as apps to get people to connect with us. And these are all things I want people to understand and be able to see and learn while I'm learning. And going on pretty much a journey. Because at this point, that's what I feel my calling is, to go on a journey just to find and to help teach, help learn, help create, and help educate.
So is this also, would you consider it to be somewhat of a travel guide as well? I mean, is this something that will include recommendations of places for people to go when they travel, as you explore the culture and continue to learn? What other aspects would you see this evolving to?
Yes, I probably would see it as almost like a travel guide. A travel guide for business, a travel guide for people on vacations, because it's hard enough when you're traveling and you didn't get a chance to get a haircut from your barber. Now you're in a place where you have to get a haircut for whatever the situation is. And you need to know that the barbershop you're going to is a good barbershop. Or at least a barbershop that you are understanding that they know how to cut your hair. That's the key. When clients go somewhere and they go out of town, their main thing is, one, they want to be safe. Two, they want a good barber. And three, they just want a good ambiance of good where they feel comfortable. And if you can't give them that, then all the 4 stars or 4.5 stars means nothing, because that can be bought. And I've been to shops where that's been done, but if you can coordinate with other shops and actually prove that this shop knows to cut every type of hair, because one of my qualifications is, if you go to a shop and you go to their webpage, you should be able to see haircuts that shop has done, not any other thing. And it should be across the board. It should be international. You should be able to look extra in there. Because I was always told by one of my instructors, he said, you should learn everything and every type of hair. It doesn't matter if it's color or what. And I said, why? And he said, because why would you want money to leave when you could do it all yourself? And to me, every barber can do it all themselves if they put their mind to it. But we get to the point where we put ourselves in a box.
I'll give you a little something I'm curious about. So, from a cultural standpoint, you talked about traveling and encompassing different cultures. How do you think that barbershops and the nomadic barber How do you think it impacts culture or could impact culture? And how does culture impact Nomadic Barber?
A nomadic barber with me, per se, just the experiences. When you travel, you get to see a different side of people that you've never. You get to experience foods. You get to experience the way of they live, and get a sense of respect for the people that you're visiting. For me, nomadic barbering is me traveling to another country and walking up into a barbershop and them showing me how they cut hair and learning from them their type of hair and how they do it, and vice versa, me show them how I cut hair and how I've learned to evolve. And to me, that's what nomadic barber is doing. It's going to help not just myself, but help others evolve into better barbers and better people. Because it's not about just barbering, it's about making a connection. And to me, that's what my nomadic barber is doing, is making a connection between what you're used to, getting out of your box and being uncomfortable. Because we as barbers, so many times, we're comfortable. And once we get comfortable, we feel that we in a good place, we could be making good money, but there's something missing. And the missing part, I think, is we've gotten too comfortable and not want to try to experience new things and try to learn new things. Because with barbering, we're always learning, regardless of, even if it's learning how to deal with a cow leg. There's a lot of people out here don't know how to deal with certain cow legs, straight or textured. So it's just learning texture, learning people. And I think what it boils down to is just learning people.
I would imagine, I mean, I know for me as a client, as a person who goes to seek barbers, in my travels, trust is a great part of it. How do you think that a barber can best impart trust in a client, particularly if it's a client in an area that's not familiar to them?
Yeah, I think the best way for barbers to entrust, get people to trust them, the easiest way is to, while you're teaching them. Because normally if you go to a new barber, the first thing in your head is, do he really know how to cut my hair?
Yes.
And after, it's a confidence of the barber. If the barber's confident, you're going to be okay, but you're still going to be skeptical. But for me, I think the best way to put them at ease is, while I'm cutting their hair, I'm also how to maintain their hair. Not just with me, but without me. Because there's going to be times where you may not be able to get to a barber. Or something comes up, you'll be out of town, and something comes up and you have a function to go to. Now you need to find a barber, and you need to find one fast. And you could go on all the apps you want. Sometimes it's trial and error, but other times it's finding that barber that they have good reviews. You get there, and if a barber is trying to teach you how to maintain your hair and not just, it's almost like gatekeeping. I don't tell you certain things because I want you to come back, but it's the opposite for me. I want to tell you things, not so that you don't want to come back, but that you know how to maintain your hair or know how to tell other people when you go there. Because if your barber is telling you what to tell another barber or how to cut their hair, it makes it easier on the barber, and it makes it easier for you.
Yeah, I think that's a key point, because, one of the things that I think barbers don't do enough is to talk about the maintenance, talk about, for instance, my hair grows in, 9 different directions. And so it really takes somebody who understands that to execute a cut that makes sense. And I think that, that trust is key, and that maintenance that you're talking about is really essential.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it also helps bring them back to you because that's part of the trust. Is there anything that you want to talk about with the Nomadic Barber and the concept of it, where you see it going, or anything that you want to say about it that you think is important for people to know?
Important thing is that I want people to know about the Nomadic Barber is that I want it to be a learning travel. Something that when I go places, you know that I'm traveling to these places to find, he said I should be able to find a good barber here. And that's what I want. I want people to be able to, it's almost like my grandparents used to have the black book to travel, to tell them what places not to go.
Right.
So I want to have something like that for clients, for business people, for people on travel, just for vacations, where they can go and pull up an app or pull up a top 5 shops in this area. That's my goal, is where you'll be able to go anywhere comfortably and know that you'll be able to find any barbershop.
So the journey starts obviously in Atlanta.
Yes.
Atlanta, and what you've learned and you will take with you on the road as you travel. What things about the barber culture in Atlanta have you learned and that you will hopefully move forward and take with you on your journey?
I think for the most part, what I would take from Atlanta, because I'm a Georgian at heart, I grew up here, I think it's just about culture. And it's about people loving people. Because when I was growing up, my family's big. Knowing your family, loving your family, taking care of your family. And to me, when I travel, I'm going to love my family, take care of my family. Every client, every person I get in contact with, they're going to wind up being my family.